Hey everyone, it's the Miserable Movie Man back once again with another video. So this one is a quick review of the first season of X-Men 97, which I just finished watching, and I know season 2 is, I think, in the can, so will be coming out fairly soon. Some of you may know I'm a huge comic book fan. I think you may tell from the channel. I grew up reading more DC, but I was a big Marvel fan too. Read quite a lot of Marvel. More of the Spider-Man stuff, but I was a huge X-Men fan in the 90s. I think I kind of missed the golden years of Claremont, although I did collect a lot of the back issues of those. But then in the 90s, when X-Men really hit it big, I think Chris Claremont was still writing, but he tailed off for a few other folks. And I really remember just enjoying all of those stories, the different teams and everything coming out. So X-Men 97 was a wonderful homage to that. I think it has some, great touches in there. I think it references some of the storylines really well. Spoilers coming along, so if you haven't seen the first season, you can stop now. But it was great to see Bastion as the main villain. I think he's a really cool character in the comics, and certainly an interesting one. As I said, it referenced quite a lot of storylines in a fairly short season. Now, of course, in the comics, some of these storylines were pretty big crossover events and went on for a while. So, maybe X-Men 97 didn't quite do them the justice they deserved. But, at least taking those influences into the series was wonderful for me to see. We had Operation Zero Tolerance, we had Inferno, we had Fatal Attractions, we had the Mutant Massacre, we had Ease for Extinction, with the Genosha event, we had the Fall of X, which I must admit I haven't actually read. We even had Magneto Protocols, the Trial of Magneto referenced, and Storm and Forge as a little side plot in Life Death, which was, some critical, wonderfully written Storm issues by Chris Claremont. So those storylines coming in, and I guess the ending of season 1 with Apocalypse coming through and Cyclops and Jean Grey getting sent to the future, other folks getting sent to the past, I think it's going to be I think it is a great setup for season 2. I read a lot of those Ascani comics when Cyclops and Jean went through to the future with Ascani son. I think the Apocalypse storyline will be wonderful to see. Hopefully that might lead into Age of Apocalypse. That will be really cool as well. But let's see what season 2 has to offer. I thoroughly enjoyed season 1. They put in a lot of little cameo appearances, especially in Genosha when they were there. If you don't know who was there, just take a quick look on some of the trivia pages and you'll see loads of folks. The animation's definitely a throwback to the old show, which I think for me, I didn't watch as much of as I wanted because I was just starting university then. Definitely showing my age with that comment. But no, I thought X-Men, the original series, animated series, was great. It was following on the heels of, obviously, the great Spider-Man show as well. And 97 really lives up to that tradition and that hype. I think X-Men and maybe Spider-Man were one of the first few animated series to have continuing plot lines and multiple episode story arcs. So, having so much of that reference in X-Men 97 is great too. Seeing Gambit come to the fore. I always really liked Gambit. I thought he was a cool character. And they really, made something of him in this season by tying in a lot of those comic book storylines I referenced, but taking their own spin on it. Rogue and Magneto's romance was also from the comics back in the day. And a lot of the things with finally seeing, Jean and Scott, and I say Jean, I really mean Madeline Pryor, have their kid and having go to the future become Cable. That was great. Seeing the dynamics of the X-Men again, seemed to be a lot more emphasis on drama and personality clashes, which was what made the X-Men comics have an extra side to them, in addition to just the usual superhero fighting, battling fare. One thing I didn't like so much though is I did think Cyclops was a bit chumped in this show, and I think he's chumped a little bit in the original series as well. I always had a liking for Cyclops as a character. I think he was, wasn't that well utilized until Grant Morrison took him on. And maybe we'll see that kind of revolutionary side of him come to the fore in upcoming seasons. But I do think, getting beaten up by the Friends of Humanity, not having as much impact with the villains, just diminishes Cyclops as a leader and as a sort of powerhouse of the X-Men. yeah, I know everyone thinks Wolverine is the coolest and people gravitate towards the anti-heroes, but I thought Cyclops was handled in a respectful way, but I think he was definitely a bit chumped in 97, could have been showcased in a stronger light. But overall, writing was great, episodes were great fun to watch, you know, seeing the storylines were good. A very solid 8 for me. I think it's got a pretty high score on some of the reviews and the critics' websites. Season 2 will be coming out at some point soon, I think, as I saw some news on that. But no, a really great watch. If you like X-Men, if you like shows that try and stay faithful to the characters and to the plots, if you like, you know, sort of high-octane action with crazy events combined with good character drama, then X-Men 97 will be right up your street. So if you haven't seen it already, check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with me or disagree with me? Are there any other comic book storylines that I missed? I will admit to not having read the comics for quite a while. I'm trying to catch up, but it's been a while. I was a big collector in the 80s and mostly 90s, so stuff after that, things that I've read about or heard about. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. As usual, please like, share and subscribe to support the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.